that there are always in every lesson things going on below the line, and what's going on below the line is important. Most educational discourse revolves around what's above the line, doesn't it? Right? Sometimes I think of that as flat education, the two dimensions of what should we teach and how will we know if they've learnt it. Right? Curriculum and assessment. Right? And most public discourse operates on that level. Right? But below the line, there's always something else going on. What skills of learning are being legitimated, invited, practiced, strengthened in that lesson? What attitude towards learning, what identity as a learner is being encouraged or required amongst the students? And even, as I say, different conceptions of knowledge. Knowledge is fixed, true, and abstract, or knowledge is negotiable, present. And even though you're only 13, you can still begin to play a peripheral or candidate role in the investigation, the inquiry, the appraisal of what you're reading, rather than the acceptance of it. And a lot of people would be thinking these days, and some of the quotations that Sue showed were making that what we need to be thinking about when we engage in this kind of what kind of teaching for what kind of learning is not just thinking about the technical aspects of the way students are learning in our classrooms, but what is being engaged and what's being transacted at the deeper levels below the line. What wider learning habits to stretch your ability to empathize, to build the disposition to ask skeptical, intelligent and respectful questions about knowledge claims. For many people in the digital world, that's a fundamental life skill in the 21st century. Getting knowledge is easy, appraising knowledge is tricky, right? So how are we doing that in schools, let's say? Let's take that as an example. A little while ago, I was working with some secondary history teachers, and during the coffee break, they started, while I was with them, we started to bemoan the lack of critical intelligence that students brought to the internet. They read something on Wikipedia and they thought it was true. And I said to them, slightly mischievously, could you just reassure me that the way you're doing the causes of the First World War with your students is designed to cultivate that disposition of skeptical appraisal of knowledge claims, which you're now complaining they don't have? And they went a bit quiet, because they hadn't seen that the causes of the First World War was an exercise machine for developing a set of learning dispositions, values, and interests. Inevitably. One of the lessons that I've drawn from this is you can't opt out of this. Once you face up to the moral questions, the question is, which of these things below the line is my school busy cultivating? Which might they be neglecting? And which are the things that we might want young people, say we want young people to develop in order to flourish in the world of the 21st century?